Netflix's horror series, The Haunting of Hill House, earned critical acclaim for its first season. It's a modern reimagining of the classic novel by Shirley Jackson, but the highlight of the show is the Two Storms episode, the sixth one in the season. The 53-minute episode looks like it was filmed in one long, continuous shot, seamlessly transitioning between parallel storylines in the past and present. The effect is seriously unsettling. But how exactly did the cast and crew pull this off? First, series creator Mike Flanagan made an ambitious plan. Film the bulk of the episode in just 5 unedited takes, with a centerpiece tracking shot that lasts 17 minutes long. For this challenge, Flanagan joined forces with Michael Fimognari, the cinematographer behind another Netflix hit, To All the Boys I've Loved Before. Hill House was their 7th project together, following a string of hit horror films. But this one episode presented the biggest challenge of their careers to date. The action unfolds in 2 settings: a tense family reunion at the Cranes' funeral home in the present, and a stormy night they spent at Hill House in the past. Even in the early phases of production, both the funeral home and Hill House were designed with the needs of episode 6 in mind. The stages had to be adjacent and connected by a hallway, so that Hugh Crane could walk from the funeral home directly into his past. The sets also had to include hiding places for crew, equipment, and special lighting rigs, along with secret access portals for the actors and their photo doubles to sprint through, as the scenes slip between past and present. Once the set pieces were built, production was shut down for a month so that they could focus on rehearsing the episode with second-team stand-ins. They'd walk through the entire script over and over and over again so that the crew could learn all the blocking, lighting, and camera choreography by heart.
It was a dance that they rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed.
This also gave them a chance to figure out the hundreds of camera and lighting cues, which would serve as signals for the cast and crew to carry out specific actions at the correct times. Those actions could include anything from a special effect to a set movement, a lighting change,
He's going to cue the flicker on the word Mullen.
or a camera pivot.
After the first clap, you got to start.
Cues were important for getting the beauty lighting right too. If a cue was early or late, or a cast member missed their mark, then the actors wouldn't be lit properly.
Once something like that goes bad, you have to start over, so there's a lot of pressure and a lot of excitement. The third shot was the hardest. It was the longest. It represented the most physical challenges.
The following shot was only about a third of the length, but it presented the most technical difficulty, as the crew basically had to teleport Olivia around the set.
In terms of coordination, physical coordination, it was a challenge. It required a lot of handoffs. We had doubles for Olivia that were flying in and out of rooms.
They even built a handmade elevator for shot 4, which lowered the cameraman down to the first floor of Hill House as Olivia and Hugh ran down the stairs. The weather effects added yet another layer of complexity. Episode 6 is set against the backdrop of an ongoing rainstorm, which is occurring in both the present and past. Hill House relied mostly on practical wizardry for its special effects, and creating the storm was no different. They brought in specialty lights to create the lightning, and installed massive rain effects, which actually flooded the set a few times during rehearsal.
We thought it was important that you could feel the water effects. The one section that was CG was where all the windows blow.
Since there would be very little editing done in post-production, the actors had no room for error at all. If one person made a minor misstep or jumbled their lines, they all had to start over.
This is hard stuff, man. This is really hard stuff.
Our young cast, they were incredible. We didn't change the way we do things for them based on their age. And so episode 6 was no different. They were a part of the team like everybody else.
For the little ones, for Violet and for Julian, scared, scared, scared. All the way through. I want to see you guys scared this entire time, okay?
This massive undertaking was well worth it in the end. The single shot effect in episode 6 sucks you into the action, subverting both space and time. Critics called it a standout episode, in a series that's gotten props from horror auteur Stephen King.
We were exploring ways that we could bring memory into the present and blur those lines, whether that's something that's actually occurring in a supernatural way or something that's only happening in the mind. Hill House brought that to another level. To be able to look away from that may have reduced its intensity. It's not something we do every day, but it was right. It was right for that episode.